everyone, welcome back to another session of construction management, and today we are going to start a new topic, that is construction planning. Yes students, till now you have learned about construction management, introduction to construction management. So you have learned about the definition of project, the phases of project, functions of management. Then you have seen about the stakeholders, the resources being used, the benefits of planning, scheduling and controlling. So I've learned all the basics which are required for the which are required in order to start the the journey of construction management. So the very first thing which comes with the construction management, that it is like to manage the construction. That generally construction management is to manage the construction. Now first, to learn to what to manage, we require to determine what to manage. In construction management, we need to determine that what we are managing, and that starts with the construction planning. So now on, we are going to have the sessions on construction planning. So let us see what we are going to learn today. So we are going to study three topics. The first is introduction to construction planning, types of project plans, and then last, the third is work breakdown structure. One of the most important topic of the entire syllabus of construction management is work breakdown structure. That is our first step towards the construction management, you can say that. So we are going to learn about introduction to construction planning, then we are going to see types of project plans, and then we are going to study about work breakdown structure. In short, we can say it WBS. W, work, B, break, S, structure, work breakdown structure. So starting with the introduction to planning, let us see. So if we talk about planning, the technical definition of the planning, so the construction planning is drawing up the method or scheme for doing, acting, making, etc. developed in advance. Yes, that means the planning is drawing up a method, drawing up a procedure, or to plan something for doing, but well in advance. So that is your planning. We have learned with the example of Goa trip. You are determining that how will you reach Goa. So that is your planning. So as in construction, you are determining how will you perform this activity, or how will you perform this construction task. For an example, if we are talking about the excavation, how you will perform the excavation, manually, with JCB, or with some extraordinary machinery above the grade of the JCB. So that is your planning, that how you will do the things, and that well in advance. Focus of the word well in advance. So it is thinking ahead of the operations or activity to be performed. We have just discussed that it is ahead thinking, that how you will do this, how it will take place in a construction project. In planning, one is foresee and anticipate about the events which are likely to get delayed in attainment of the goals, or to be achieved to achieve the goals. Yes, in planning, the project manager or the project planner, the planning department of any company, has to foresee that what are the activities we are going to perform, how we are going to perform, and which activities or which are the critical parts which are likely to get delayed. What are the scope that here that project can be delayed or not. For an example, if you are working as a construction planner or the project planner, if your project is getting started in monsoon, so you have to see that rain can appear at any point of time. So you have to plan accordingly. Also, if you are planning for a construction activity, such as if you are constructing a building just on the Kalupur road or the Relief Road, so you have to plan like that, where will your material get stored, or how will the construction of the fifth slab, the RMC truck will come from where, or it will be stand at where place, the pumping. So you have to plan the foresee, and we have to see the delays, that which activity can get delayed for which reasons, and you have to try to mitigate that. So that is about your construction planning. I hope we are very much clear about what is construction planning. Now let us see some of the activities which are involved in the planning. So here are the activities which are involved in the construction planning. The first is defining the project scope, that what work will come under the contractor or the organization which is planning currently the project, that what exactly work, the scope of work. Then identify the activities which are required to perform. Most important, to plan something, focus on my words, to plan something, first you need to understand that what are the activities you are going to perform. Then and only then you can plan them. Without identifying the activities, you cannot plan them. That is so obvious and point of common sense. So identification of the activities. Then estimation of the project duration. Once you know that, okay, these are the 100 activities or these are the 1000 activities which I have to perform in my construction. So the project will be finished in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years or whatsoever. So the next is estimation of the duration. Then the next activity is defining the procedure for resources and the controlling of the project, that how the project, how you will allocate the resources, how will you check the progress of the work, what will be the control measure. So that is the next activity. Then developing appropriate interfaces, and the last activity is updating and revising the plan. Students, it may happen in construction things don't work as you plan. There are some conditions which are not in your hand, such as climatic condition, laws, GST, notebandi, this corona. So these are the things which are not in your hand. So the project can stop, the project can delay. So in such cases, you have to update your planning and you have to put the revised plan. So that is our last activity of the planning. So I hope we are good for the activities. Now, moving forward, the next is principles of planning. Principles of planning. There are 5 principles which we have to keep in mind. And the first is the planning should be simple and such as that it should be understood by the persons or the team who is implementing that. Obviously, if you are planning in your office, but you have to keep in mind that the project is going on site. So you have to keep that criteria, on-site criteria, and you have to prepare a plan that the site team could understand that plan very well. The second principle is it should be flexible enough to provide unforeseen eventualities. Students, you don't prepare a plan without estimating the occurrence of delay. For an example, if I know that my project is going to start in monsoon, or my project is one of my phase of the project is appearing during Holi time, then I will have to keep the buffer of 15 days. For if we are going with the Holi example, that one of my project phase is appearing in Holi time, I know that the 15 days or 20 days laborers are not going to come. So I have to keep that buffer for 15 days, that these 15 days the work is not going to delay. So that those 15 days I have to keep blank. If you are not doing this and then you are showing that your project will complete by June, including those Holi time, and then on actual performance the Holi month gets empty, so your project will get delayed. So this is not your realistic planning, we can say. You have to flexible enough to provide that delay, the loopholes of delay. I hope you are getting my point. And the next principle is your planning should be realistic. Not you don't plan just for on paper things, like your boss has told you that complete this project in 300 days. So on paper you can prove that the project can get completed in 300 days, but you have to consider the site criteria, that is it really going to complete in 300 days, or is it requiring 320 days or 325 days? So plan should be realistic. The next principle is the plan should serve the basis for project monitoring and control. It is obvious that when the actual site work will go on, you have to measure that things are going according to the plan or not. So your planning is a benchmark. You are comparing that what you have planned and what it is actually happening. So your plan should be like that. And the last principle is the plan should be comprehensive. So these all are the principles of the planning. Now let us look at some of the project plans, types of project plans. There are 5 types of project plan which as a planning engineer or as a project manager you have to take care of. So let us see. So here are the 5 types of project plan. The first is time plan. Second is manpower plan. Third is material plan. Fourth is construction equipment plan. And the last is finance plan. So these are the 5 types of project plan which we have to perform before starting any project. Let us start with time plan. So time is the essence for all the construction project. That without time you cannot define that when your project is going to complete it. So it is the main element of the construction project or construction plan. Generally in contract documents there are clauses outlining the time, such as what if the project is completed well ahead of the schedule, or what are the penalties which are implemented on the contractor if the project gets delayed. So there are clauses of the clauses regarding to the time in the contract. Moving forward, here are some of the common reasons of the delays. The first is delayed awarding the contract, that the client does not select the contractor in a the regular manner. The processes get delayed in selecting the contractor, awarding the award of the contract. Sluggish approach during the planning, then the changes during the construction, delay in payments, slow approach in decision making, then delay in supply of materials, and delay in supply of drawings. So these are some of the common reasons of delay. There are hundreds of reasons why a project can get delayed, but I have listed out some of the common reasons. So this you have to keep in mind while you are preparing the time plan. Moving forward, in order to complete the project well in advance, the planning department or the planning engineer has to prepare the entire project planning well in advance. There are various techniques used in project planning such as critical path method, program evaluation and review technique, then line of balance technique, precedence network diagram, and the last method is linear programming chart. So these are the methods which are being used for the project planning. CPM part which we are going to learn in this chapter. We are also going to learn about the LOB, line of balance. We are also going to learn about the precedence network analysis in this chapter itself. We are not going to learn about the linear programming chart. So we'll see all of this method, all of the fundamentals of this method, the numericals based on this method in the next few sessions of the construction planning. So I hope we are clear with the time plan. Moving forward, the next is manpower plan. So the manpower plan mainly deals with the size of the workforce required to perform the job in functional team and scheduling of the deployment of the manpower. That when the manpower is required, when more manpower is required, when less manpower is required. Even in manpower there are certain categories. So which category of manpower is required in which phase of the project. So these all are things covered under manpower plan. Moving forward, the next is material plan. Now the material plan involves the following activities or the following steps. The first is identification of the material. Which material your project requires? Cement, sand, aggregate, steel, what bricks, what material your project requires. Then estimation of the required quantities, in what amount the materials are required. Then defining the material specification and forecasting the material required. You have to define the specification, what quality of cement, what brand of cement, what should be the compressive strength, and etc. So specification of each and every material and forecasting of material, at which stage of your project and what amount of material is required. It may happen that entire project is required 10,000 cement bags, but initially it is only required 1,000 bags. So you have to estimate the forecast that at current stage of the project, what quantity the material is required. The next step is identification of material sources. From where you can get the materials. What is the source of getting that material? Then inventory control. Once the material reaches on site, you cannot just distribute or use it alike. You have to maintain the proper record that 100 bags of cement at deliver your site, the work should be of 100 bags. Or you can check that what is the wastage percentage of out of 100 bags. So you have to manage the inventory as well, inventory control. We are going to learn in the entire separate chapter of material management that what is inventory control, but it is a part of material plan. The next is procurement plans. How you are going to procure. That if your project requires 5 lakhs brick, it is okay to purchase, or it is okay to purchase a material, it is a brick manufacturing plant itself. So what are the procurement plans? What are the terms and conditions for the payments? And the last is monitoring of the usage of materials. So these are the steps involved in the material plan. Very easy, very basic. We are going to learn the entire session of construction material management in the the lecture series of this construction management. So moving forward, the next is construction equipment plan. The modern construction is completely machinized, and the various equipments plays the vital role to complete the project within the time limits. In modern construction, various equipments used in the constructions are mass excavation, trenching, grading, hauling, concreting, hoisting, compacting, drilling, material handling, etc. So these are the phases of project where these are the machines which you require in your entire project. Moving forward, here are the advantages of use of modern construction equipments and machineries. That if you use these machines, how it is helpful to your project. It improves the productivity of the work, it improves the quality of the work, reduces the construction time, and reduces the construction costs. Take the example of excavation. If you do the excavation with the help of manual labors, the time, cost, quality, and productivity all will be uncontrolled. Labors will work slowly with the time, so productivity will decrease. Then they will get delay the work. The more money should be involved to deploy number of labors in excavation. So there is in time, cost, quality, and productivity. Well, if you have a construction equipment plan, you can identify that this job can be done by 1 JCB, 2 JCB, or Tata Hitachi, or if it is more depth, then you can use the heavy equipments provided by the L&T Komatsu. That is a product name. L&T Komatsu is a product name which is being used for the excavation. So these are the advantages of using this kind of equipments. I hope we are clear up to this point. Moving forward, so the construction equipment plan involves the following: identification of the equipment, sources of equipment, characteristics of equipment, types and number of equipments are required, and the last step is time schedule for the use of equipment. So these are the steps which are being involved in construction equipment plan. So I hope we are clear till four project plans: time, manpower, material and equipment. So let us see the last type of project plan, that is finance plan. Large construction project requires huge amount of money, huge amount of money. But also that is a thing that all the money is not required at the initial stage of the phase. So the contractor has to plan his finance, that at what stage of the project, what is the exact requirement of the finance, or we can say money. Generally, the contractors funds their project by different sources, such as some of the money they put by themselves, the capital, which you can say capital amount. Few of the amount is being raised by the other sources, such as bank loan or the loan against their assets, etc. Whereas the remaining amount of their funds comes from running account bills, mobilization advance, secure advance payment against the material at site, etc. So these are the sources of the funds which are being done by the contractor. Thus, a careful analysis should be done that what amount of fund is required at the what amount of at what phase of project. The capital inflows are considered as the lifeline to the project, and the finance plan plays an important role while the project is being financed by private sector or some financial institute. That a company is financing you, or your finance or some private sector company is taking loan. So your financial plan should be very strong. Then and only then you can have the funds from them. So financial planning has its own importance. And the cash inflow, the amount the amount of cash that is getting into the project, that is very important. That is the project lifeline. So I hope we are clear about the last type of project plan, that is finance plan. Now let us see the last topic of the session, that is work breakdown structure. Let us see. So here are the technical definitions of the work breakdown structure. But before I teach you the technical definitions of the work breakdown structure, I have already told you just in this session, if you just go back in the session, I've told you that you have to be aware that what are the activities you are going to perform in a project. Then and only then you can plan them. You must know the activities to be performed. So that this WBS is a technique to identify these activities. Yes, in general terms, WBS is a technique to identify the activities to be performed in a project. But now let us see the technical definitions. The work breakdown structure is a technique which clearly identifies the functional elements of the project, which is known as activities, and their interrelationship with the other activities. Work breakdown structure is simply to identify functional elements. Functional elements, that means activities. Activities you have to, we are just discussing that you have to identify, and the interrelationship, that this activity is connected to which activity. For an example, if you are talking about the slab, then the formwork of slab, the steel of the slab, and the concrete of the slab, these are the interrelated activity to each other for a component. The second definition is, it is the name given to a project management technique or the approach in which the project is broken down in manageable chunks. Chunks, that means manageable parts or manageable activities. So that is what work breakdown structure is. In simpler terms, we can say that to identify the activities, break the project and identify the activities. Now to break the project, there are different levels at which you can break the projects. Let us see those different levels. So here are the 5 work breakdown structure levels. The first is sub-project level. So they are derived by dividing the entire project, a large project, into certain mini projects. For an example, if you are planning a township, then the construction of residential building, the commercial building, or the or you are building a hospital in the township, so the hospital build. So you are dividing the entire project into separate mini projects. So that is sub project level. The next is task level. The sub project work can be divided further into task level. The task which are the major work deliverables, such as for an example, even a township, there is a residential building. So now you can divide it into substructure and superstructure. So that is a task level. The next is work package level. When the task is divided into further more, it becomes the work package level, such as the base construction, raft construction, etc. So that is your work package level. The next is activity level. Now a work package is further divided into manageable jobs which require time and resource to complete the work. That is your task level. And the last is operational level. In activity, the various things such as mixing of materials, transporting, placing, compacting. So these are known as operational level. So these are the 5 levels in which you can divide your entire project. So it is not necessary, students, here point to be noted, it is not necessary to divide every project into this way, that you first divide sub project, then go for a task, then go for work package. No. It is not compulsory. You can directly divide a project from sub to activity, or directly start from the work package and then activity. So it is not anything compulsory to have follow all the 5 packages every time. Now let us see an example of work breakdown structure. So here is the work breakdown structure for a residential building. I have divided the residential building into major 3 tasks. The first is foundation task, then superstructure task, and the finishing task. The foundation task involves work packages. The foundation task involves the work packages such as base construction, raft construction, plinth wall construction, ground floor construction. Now the superstructure task involves the work packages such as first floor, second floor, third floor, terrace and parapet. And the finishing task involves the work packages such as electric and mechanical work, roofing treatment, stairs, flooring, painting, etc. So see students, here I have divided the work breakdown started the work breakdown structure from task level, then to work package level. It is not always necessary to start with the sub project level. You can start at any point you like. Only you have to think about the activities and their interrelationship. I cannot put the work package of stairs in the foundation level, or I cannot put any component of superstructure into finishing. I hope you are getting my point, that you have to manage the sequence of the work. Now let us see the division of work package to activity. Here be due to the space, now I am redrawing this this residential building work breakdown structure again. So here, as you can see, I have taken the foundation task and divided into and then the work packages of that foundation task, I have divided them into activity. So at the top you can see the foundation task. Then the first work package is base construction. The base construction involves the activities such as earthwork, base preparation and formwork. Now in earthwork, the various activities are involved: layout, excavation and leveling. Now in base preparation, the activities are involved anti-termite treatment and polythene sheeting. And then formwork, I have not divided the activities, but in the formwork you can say that centering and shuttering and reinforcement placing. So these are the division of activities from the work package and task level. So this is how you can create a work breakdown structure. Students, also here I would like to raise a point that each student can prepare the work breakdown structure in different manner. It is up to you that in which depth you are going. I hope you are getting my point, that work breakdown structure cannot be the same. If I prepare a work breakdown structure, if a project manager who has experience of 15 years prepares a work breakdown structure and you prepare the work breakdown structure, all of the work breakdown structures can be correct but different. So that you have to see. You don't have to follow a set of procedure. You have to only take care that the activities should be in sequence, that the activities which comes under the base construction should be under the base construction, should not be under the plinth level or ground floor construction. Okay, so that was about the work breakdown structure. So this is it. That was all about in today's session. In case of any query or doubt, you can always contact me on my mail or my number. Thank you.